standing lead. Our Heisman 6 back in second, a 16th to go, and Bodacious well clear. A nice effort from our Heisman, but only for second as Bodacious smokes him by 6. Second to our Heisman. Keep dancing, Nick, with good energy. How about Pavel and Cernano? They're in the gate. And they're off. Recalcitrant and Clubhouse Bride speed off for the early lead, headed for Om comes through to take third. Shamaville is fourth, 3 lengths off the pace, and 2 more to back on track. It's Recalcitrant, pressed by Clubhouse Bride down the backstretch. A neck back second, headed for Om, right behind them, and full of energy in third. Then it's Shamaville, fourth, 3 off the pace, another 2 back-to-back on track. Recalcitrant, Clubhouse Bride, a neck back second. Headed for Om takes third. Shamaville matching strides with her. Another 2 back-to-back on track. They're coming around the far turn. Recalcitrant, Clubhouse Bride, even terms. Then it's Shamaville and headed for Om, tucked in, looking for some room. They're at the top of the stretch. Clubhouse Bride on the outside and Recalcitrant have been inseparable. Headed for Om, angles to the 3-path and is set down, and look at her come. Headed for Om. Extremely confident handling from Hector Barrios, and this is why. She strides out to outclass them. Back on track, completes the exacta, a no doubt about it victory for Headed for Om. Back on track was second, Recalcitrant, Clubhouse Bride. We're in the gate. And they're off. Fast Investment is going out for the lead with Beautiful Janet. Warren Showgirl and Classy comes through on the inside. 5 wide, Miss Allure, as there is a scramble on in the early going. Lady Cruiser off half a step slowly is now second to last, just 4 lengths off the lead, though. And Max's Maxine trails. Coming to the 6 furlong pole, and it's Classy and Armando Ayuso in hand, leading by a length and a half. Warren Showgirl is in second. Beautiful Janet tucked in along the rail in third. They're followed by Miss Allure, fourth, just 3 off the pace, followed by Lady Cruiser. Fast Investment is second to last, and another 3 to Max's Maxine. Classy, 3/4 of a length. Stalked by Warren Showgirl past the half-mile pole, with Beautiful Janet and Miss Allure third and fourth. Lady Cruiser is fifth, 4.5 lengths off the lead. Another 3 back to Fast Investment, losing ground, and Max's Maxine. They're coming to the 3/8 pole. Classy and Warren Showgirl just ahead away second. A length and a half. Beautiful Janet, Miss Allure still together. Lady Cruiser fifth, about 5 off them now. Another 4 to Max's Maxine and Fast Investment. Warren Showgirl takes the lead. Beautiful Janet moves to engage on the outside. At the rail, Classy is fully extended, has lost a bit of ground, fighting on. And another 4 to the rest. They're less than 3/16 of a mile from home. And Beautiful Janet is right up to Warren Showgirl. And these two will come for the wire together. Warren Showgirl and Jeremy Lapita on the inside. Beautiful Janet and Edwin Maldonado. Nose for the line. Here it is, very close. Close photo between Beautiful Janet and Warren Showgirl. Another photo for third between Classy and Lady Cruiser. Miss Allure finished fifth. In the gate. And they're off. Eastern Ocean, Don't Swear Dave, joined by Two-Lane Trist on the outside, and Two-Lane Trist nudged along to take the lead. Don't Swear Dave now second. Giovinazzo moves up third. Enjoy It Straight is fourth. Moving into the first turn. Low Expectations is fifth, 5 lengths off the lead. The two trailers, Eastern Ocean and Moody Jim, is at the back. Two-Lane Trist gets the lead, opens up 2 on Don't Swear Dave in second. They're followed by Giovinazzo, now 3.5 or so off the leader. Enjoy It Straight at the rail, and Low Expectations has 6 to come. The two trailers, Eastern Ocean and Moody Jim. It's Two-Lane Trist alone on the front end. 3-length advantage over Don't Swear Dave in second. Then it's Giovinazzo. At the rail, Enjoy It Straight's a bit eager in fourth. Comfortable enough. 3.5 or so off the lead. Low Expectations, Moody Jim, and Eastern Ocean. Into the far turn, Two-Lane Trist lead a length. Don't Swear Dave is in second. Giovinazzo still third. Enjoy It Straight saving ground fourth. Then it's Low Expectations fifth. The gray Moody Jim is widest of all, and Eastern Ocean has a bit of run. Nowhere to go at this stage. We'll see if he has time. And the run, they're at the top of the stretch. Don't Swear Dave up to Two-Lane Trist at the 8th pole. Giovinazzo, there's room for Eastern Ocean. He's starting to come fast along the inside. A 16th to go, and even Moody Jim is joining the party late. Giovinazzo has his head in front. Moody Jim, Eastern Ocean along the inside. Eastern Ocean, Moody Jim. Here's the line. Eastern Ocean and Moody Jim. Not going to try to call that one. It's very close between those two. Giovinazzo was right in between them. Oh. We're in the gate. And they're off. And Swift Harmony is very quick. Broadway Venus flashing sharp early speed, a little bit bossy. Odie's Memory Lane along the inside takes third. And Nightwit Louie at the back of the field. It's Broadway Venus speeding to the 3/8 pole with a 2-length advantage. Swift Harmony races in second. Odie's Memory Lane a joint third. A little bit bossy is next. And another 2 back to Nightwit Louie. Broadway Venus in command with a 1/4 mile to go. A 3-length lead on Swift Harmony in second. As Little Bit Bossy moves up on the outside of Odie's Memory Lane. 3/16 to go. Broadway Venus still in front by 3 lengths. Swift Harmony shifting about on the outside. Little Bit Bossy picking up some late momentum. A 16th to go. And Broadway Venus knocked this field out right out of the gate. Broadway Venus cruises to victory. A little bit bossy second. Odie's Memory Lane up for third. Swift Harmony was fourth. We're in the gate. And they're off. Haley Amber in the center of the course, but there goes Really Thirsty, and Really Thirsty up to take the lead. Here's Oh Mandy to challenge in second, and Maria Time comes away a joint third on the outside of Haley Amber. Danzig Till Dawn is next. Between rivals, Hollywood Penny 1 from the rail and 3 to Truly Magical. It is Oh Mandy and Really Thirsty passing the half-mile pole together. 3 lengths back to Haley Amber in third, followed by Maria Time, Orange Sleeves in fourth. Danzig Till Dawn, Hollywood Penny, and 2 more to Truly Magical. Oh Mandy rounds the far turn, pressed once again by Really Thirsty, staying within the next second. 2.5 more, Haley Amber. Maria Time is in fourth. Danzig Till Dawn, Hollywood Penny, and Truly Magical. They're a 1/4 mile from home, and it's Oh Mandy and Really Thirsty. Really Thirsty called on, but Oh Mandy's tough at the rail. These two arrive past the 8th pole together. Really Thirsty, Oh Mandy. Really Thirsty gets the upper hand with Haley Amber in the center of the course in third. A 16th to go, and Really Thirsty just cruising late, and it's Really Thirsty, the daughter of Stay Thirsty, to win it by a length. Haley Amber finished with interest second. Oh Mandy, Hollywood Penny, and another photo between Maria Time and Truly Magical. Santa Anita Derby winner Stronghold. Come root the home team on in the biggest race of the year on a huge day in SoCal. For more information, go to Santa. They're in the gate. And they're off. Nauvoo sent hard. Man overboard has speed. Spiritual advisor makes it three of them vying for command. Speed Grazy fourth in the early going. Big Bet Jaffin Safa, as usual, relaxes toward the back of the field, and the trailer is the big wham. There's a duel on early between Man Overboard and Nauvoo. Those two are stride for stride, with Spiritual Advisor three back in third, followed by Speed Grazy six off the pace in fourth. Another 8 lengths to Big Bet Jaffin Safa, who is 7 clear of the big wham. It's a quick opening quarter, and it's a contested 1-2 between Man Overboard and Nauvoo. Neither doing each other any favors. 2 more to Spiritual Advisor in third. At the rails, Speed Grazy moving up very willingly. There goes Speed Grazy up to take third past the half-mile pole, as the lead clearly belongs to Man Overboard now. Nauvoo dropping right out of it. Speed Grazy on the inside, and Spiritual Advisor holds that second spot. In the meantime, Big Bet Jaffin Safa is looming and looming large. He's got 5 to make up, but he's closing in ominously, coming to the quarter pole. And here comes Big Bet Jaffin Safa with the dream set up, a 3-wide bid with a quarter of a mile to go. Spiritual Advisor just in front. Big Bet Jaffin Safa up to engage and up to take the lead with a furlong left to go. Big Bet Jaffin Safa by 2. Spiritual Advisor followed by Speed Grazy. Man Overboard has been softened up. A 16th to go, and it's Big Bet Jaffin Safa giving Edwin Maldonado a double. Winning by 2.5 lengths. Spiritual Advisor second, very close. Too close to call for third between Speed Grazy and the big wham. We're in the gate. And they're off. Smiling Forever gets the first call out of the gate, Dancing with Maxine, and now here comes Lovely Idaho, and Lovely Idaho is up to challenge Smiling Forever. Smiling Forever tugging hard on the outside, and Lovely Idaho down at the rail. Those two have sped 2 clear of Stop Digging and Dancing with Maxine, who are also stride for stride. Shoot for the Sky. Then comes Play My Speed. Ms. Club Kelly went by that pair in a gap of 4 to Isabel Ludlow. Smiling Forever into the far turn, opens up to Stop Digging, takes second. Lovely Idaho along the inside third. They're followed by Dancing with Maxine in fourth. Then Ms. Club Cali, 5 lengths off the pace. Play My Speed had a little bit of difficulty. Isabel Ludlow is picking it up. Shoot for the Sky drops out. A quarter of a mile to go. Smiling Forever, Stop Digging on the outside into second. Smiling Forever strides out, leads it by 2. Dancing with Maxine in the center of the course. Ms. Club Cali has made steady headway, and Stop Digging set down at the 16th pole, up to take the lead. Ms. Club Cali comes through along the rail into second and is closing nicely, but it's Stop Digging. Stop Digging wins by a length. Ms. Club Cali. Third went to Smiling Forever in front of Dancing with Maxine and Isabel Ludlow.
Day to all of you from all of us here at Sanita. It's proclaimed that this is the biggest Kentucky Derby party west of Kentucky, and I would say that's correct. A lot of activities on track, including 11 races. Post time for the Kentucky Derby is 3:57 p.m. Pacific time, but the gentleman calling all 11 races right here at the Great Race Place is sitting alongside of me. His name, Frank Mirahmadi. Frankie, happy Derby Day. Welcome to the seminar.
Happy Derby Day to you, TQ.
It never gets old, does it?
They can say what they want. They can pretend this purse, that purse, the other race, this country, that country. The greatest race in the world takes place on the first Saturday.
$5 million purse, by the way. Speaking of purse money, that's a lot of cheese.
Yeah, they came up with a little more bread, which is appropriate because if you win the Derby, you deserve to get paid. And if you're a colt, you're getting paid anyway as soon as you win that Derby. But nevertheless, smart move by Churchill Downs to do that. And I just heard the best news of all. America's Turf Authority, available for sale finally at Churchill Downs. There is no better publication.
We saw the pictures on Twitter yesterday with the lovely lady selling the daily racing form.
Where it belongs.
I know you went to the Kentucky Derby to see American Pharoah run, and I know you've been to a few derbies.
Two derbies.
When you were the all-star announcer in the booth as well. What was the other derby besides American Pharoah that you attended?
The first one I went to was actually California Chrome. So actually on track. I've been there twice.
That's great timing.
The horse I wanted to win won both times. For California Chrome, I sat TQ at about the little outside the eighth pole. So got to see him break like a rocket ship out of the gate. And then when they turned for home, I got to see that number 17 that was coming like crazy for a West Point Thoroughbreds. And from that vantage point, he was really coming. And
you were with
Commanding Curve. I wasn't with them, no. But I went with a bunch of friends, and it was just an amazing experience. And just to be there at Churchill Downs, I had not been there since I called at All-Star Announcer Day in 2000, which remains the highlight of life.
When we met, ironically.
That's when we met.
The elevator at the Galt House Hotel.
That was unbelievable. I got to Churchill Downs for All-Star Announcer Day. Luke Kreipos was the track announcer, and he hooked me up to call 2 races. I got to call one as myself with all these other amazing announcers, and then I got to call the finale, combining every voice that called that day. And my idol, Trevor Denman, who's not a guy that really likes to hang around too much, stayed specifically to watch that race. Nothing could mean more to me in this world than to have Trevor wait for that. And at the end of it, he came into the booth and he called me a magician. And it was just like, that was a long time ago, man. All of a sudden, that's 24 years ago. My goodness.
I know, you don't need to tell me. I know, we're getting more gray hairs than when we first met.
But that was a fun time to be there for that and for All-Star Announcer Day, and then to be there for California Chrome.
Sure.
And then
American Pharoah.
When American Pharoah won the Arkansas Derby, later that day, I received a text.
You called that race?
I called it, and that's probably the best call I've ever given. I would have to, if someone asked me right now, rank your best calls, that's it.
I'd vote for the Hasta La Vista, but that's a different story.
The only reason the Hasta La Vista would get like a point off is somehow, some way, I had a section of that race designated for heaven for those who.
It's a 3-minute race. I mean, it's amazing you got through 99.9% of it.
If you saw, there's like a little table in front of me. If you saw the spit that was all over the place, the sweat, and my shirt, and it was just but I forgot to do Harry Henson and Gary Henson. I planned on doing both of them, and I never forgive myself for that. Even though that call, it had like so many views, but the guy who had originally posted it had basically violated some rule of putting races on, and they took it. But it would have been in the millions by now on views. But that was a great thing. Of all people, Joe Drape actually made reference to that thing in the New York Times, and Brad Free in the Daily Racing Form made reference to that, which got it a lot of momentum. And that was a great moment. 23 voices in one race. And I still can remember that race. And the whole purpose of the end of that race was to pay homage to Luke Kreipos. And I did my job for him in a big way. It was a great experience. But those derbies, after the Arkansas Derby that you just mentioned, Mr. Zayat, Ahmed Zayat, who of course, owned and bred American Pharoah, he sent me a text and he said, "Your call made me cry. We want you there. And we'll put you up and you spend the week."
You were the good luck charm.
I believe me, because they had a lot of seconds and things like that. And that was an unbelievable experience and one that I will never forget and I will always cherish. I was in the winner's circle for the Kentucky Derby of American Pharoah. You can't get anything better than that.
You mentioned number 17 trying to run down California Chrome. Earlier this week, you were already on record who's going to win this year's Kentucky Derby. He's going to be wearing saddlecloth number 17. Tell us why you like fierceness so much in the Kentucky Derby.
I just think he's freakishly fast. You know, there's something about that horse. I had the privilege of calling his debut win. It was in over Saratoga Racecourse, and I remember how good he looked that day. I just went back about a week ago and watched it for the first time since, and I had some good things to say about him then. And then
he only won by 11 lengths.
Right, and then he won right here when I got the chance to call him in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Hope you had him that day at 10-1.
I did not, because I was calling the race.
You were a little focused.
Right, believe me, when I'm calling a Breeders' Cup, the last thing I want to remember is I needed this over that, and this happened. That would be pretty pathetic. So definitely not. And I wouldn't have had him anyway, by the way, if you asked me. I would have thought, because he really laid an egg the race before there. But that's
kind of his problem in terms of the pessimist, the horse players, right? He's either all or nothing.
Yeah.
He either runs fabulously or he's up the track.
I think you're going to see.
Why do you think he's going to run fabulously today? What gives you the confidence to put him on top?
He's a tremendous athlete. He's just a fast racehorse, you know. And look, I've been wrong before. I think you know this, right? A couple of times I've walked out with no voucher, right? But I think he's the right horse. And here's the beauty of the Derby. There are some people I know that have like future books. I have a couple of really good friends that have future books on Sierra Leone. Two of my best buddies have Sierra Leone.
I know a lot of people are sweating out the Oaks Derby double.
Exactly.
You know,
so like here's the thing. Everyone's got like, this is what it's all about. I get called. The funny thing is I get so many texts. Who do you like? I want to say, aren't you familiar with my record in betting on horses? But it's really great. It's dreams. Everyone's dreaming today. It's that moment where everything can change.
It's the beauty of the game.
That's what it's all about.
It's every day. Horse players dream every day. Owners dream every day. Today's the ultimate, of course, but still, you can see the impact it has on our society.
It really
Aaron Rodgers was caught smoking a cigar last night at one of the pre-Kentucky Derby parties.
At least it was a cigar, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure the legalities of in the 502 area code.
They don't want
They might not be as liberal as
They're definitely not as liberal as California. You can take that to the bank.
Who's the biggest competitor of fierceness in your mind?
I like a horse named Honor Marie. This horse it's a under the radar barn, but this horse has won at Churchill. He ran very well. I actually liked him a lot the last time when he finished second in New Orleans, and he put in a big run, and the Brad Cox horse nailed him. But he's a nice horse. I like him a little bit.
He likes the Churchill main track. 3 starts, 2 wins in a second.
It's a big edge.
It is.
Know? It really is. But I think if fierceness runs I wouldn't be betting Preakness. Fierceness.
You're a company man.
Exactly. I'm seeing first bet. I'm thinking this is all about the Preakness. Forget about the Derby, right? What Derby?
It's 2 weeks away.
Exactly. And you know what? That is a fun place. I've been to 2 Preaknesses as well. I went there. I saw Oxbow win the Preakness. Gary Stevens and Lucas. What was so cool about that? This is deep into my career, obviously, so it's not like I'm fanboy, but I'm still a fanboy. That's all I really am. I actually bought a picture of Golden Pheasant. There was a photographer guy selling all kinds of old pictures. I couldn't believe he had Golden Pheasant in the in his long array of pictures. It was like $30, and it was autographed by Gary Stevens. I bought it the morning, and I said, "Look, I don't want to carry this around all day. I'll come get it the next day." And I bought that at Pimlico. And believe it or not, Pimlico's pizza is very good, where the pizza sign is. And someone told me it's frozen. It gets there frozen. They tried to let the air out of the balloon. It's still a good pizza.
It's not Lou Malnati's.
No, it's definitely not. But for on-track pizza, believe me, I had more than 2 slices. I can promise you that. But anyway.
Did you have Gary re-sign the photo afterwards?
No, but I had him verify. Is this really you, or is this some phantom autograph? And he goes, no, it was good. But then he won that for Lucas and him. That was as good as it get. I was on the roof with my buddy Big Al, and we had a great time with that. And then so I was there for that, and I was also there for California Chrome. And the best part about the California Chrome thing, going back to the Derby, on Oaks Day before California Chrome won, Art Sherman showed what a class act he is. I was walking, and he yelled and brought me over to his family, introduced me, and it was just a really cool thing because, we had been, I've shared some moments up with, not like personally with him out, but just, Northern Cal and this and that. And he was super nice about that. I love people like that they don't forget who their friends are. I don't like people who ever big time you. I'm quite the opposite. You know what I mean? I don't like people who think they're too special. And Art's the furthest thing from that. Couldn't have been nicer. Well, the next time, Steve Coburn, super nice. I mean, as classic as
you like him a lot.
Love him. I mean, I don't like him. I love Steve Coburn. He's just absolutely a character. He had invited us to go up to this area where they were going to watch the race. Well, I didn't want to be that guy to just try to pretend to right with them. So I lagged about 1/8 of a mile behind them during the walk. I didn't want to be like Mr. Hey, it's me. But we get up there and we find our seats, and a gentleman walks up and he says, "Yeah, how you doing? Welcome, this and that." And I say, "Yeah." And they look at good seats, and they go, "I'm Joe DeFrancis." And so I looked at Big Al and I go, "I think we got pretty good seats if we're next to this guy," who, of course, for those who don't know, owned the track for the longest time before Mr. Stronach bought it. So great experiences. And the after party at the Preakness, I mean, on the backstretch, as fun as it gets to people, the celebration. You know, the hype is real when it comes Preakness time because, you know, going into that race, there's hope.
Hope for a
and even
Triple Crown winner.
after it, if the hope is gone, it's time to party. They know how to party in Pimlico for sure.
Win or lose, we booze. That's the motto, certainly for the Derby winner heading into the Preakness. We already know that Frank likes 17-7 in the Kentucky Derby, but who does he like in the 11 races here at the Great Race Place? We're going to find out the answer to that question, but before we do, Frank is going to give us the early changes, which are minimal on today's card here at Santa Anita.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, the turf is firm, and the rail on the turf at 0 feet. Here are the early changes. In the first race, scratch number 7, Rostaman Vibe. There's no super high 5 in race 1. In the second race, there are no changes. Turning to the third, no scratches or jockey changes. And in the fourth race, number 4, Square Doro, 2 pounds over. We offer a middle pick 4 today, and it starts with race number 5. In this race, number 2, Miss Will, 2 pounds over. 3, Pace Lane, 1 pound over. Turning to the 6th, just the blinker note for number 2, Woodbine Way. The 7th race is the Charles Whittingham, presented by FanDuel TV, Grade 2 event, and it is the start of the late pick 5. The 6th race, by the way, starts the $1 pick 6. No changes in the Charles Whittingham. Turning to race 8, in the 8th, number 4, Last Call Paul, 2 pounds over. 6, War on the West, 1 pound over. In race 9, number 1, Tour Player, 2 pounds over. 4, Hurricane Way, 1 pound over. And scratch number 5, Mysterious Husband. Race 9, scratch number 5. The 10th race kicks off the Golden Hour Pick 4, combining the last 2 races from Santa Anita Park with the final 2 from Golden Gate Fields. There are no changes. And in the 11th, start of the Golden Hour Double, no changes. Lots of festivities today for Kentucky Derby Day celebration at Santa Anita Park. Enjoy the infield, family fun, and much, much more. Post time for the first is in 57 minutes at 12:30. At this time, we resume the seminar with Tom Quigley at Quigley's Corner in the XBTV studios.
Frank, the Kentucky Derby is a celebration of life, but unfortunately today is also a day of mourning because the gentleman pictured on the left-hand side of this photo, Stephen Brunetti, was an important person in your life. He was one of the head honchos at Hialeah Park, and they're having a memorial for Stephen today, who unfortunately passed away at the tender age in his mid-50s of cancer. You were very close to Stephen, and I know that you wanted to pay tribute to him because you couldn't attend the memorial today in person.
100%. Stephen, the son of John J. Brunetti, who also passed away about 6 years ago, and Stephen was his son and a great guy and a man who came through for me. Next to him is Rick Sacco and Barbie, and then the lady with the little red thing on top. That's Kim, who is Steven's wife. And so obviously I just wanted to offer my condolences, and I've already done that, of course, to the family, but I wanted to make sure that I acknowledged him. What a great man and what a great friend he was, what a loyal person he was. And I looked through today to try to find a picture of the two of us, and this is at Del Mar, right before the Breeders' Cup Classic. I was not with them that day, but I got out of the elevator right before the Classic, and boom, I ran into them, and I said, we got to take a picture to have this moment. But Stevie and I had some great moments together, and he was instrumental.
He believed in you early on in your career.
I had no experience. I went to interview with Rick and Rick's grandfather in 1995, and Stevie B came up, and I could see, I remember vividly, like, you don't remember a lot of things. I don't remember what happened 2 weeks ago, but I remember our first exchange, and because those guys liked coming to California, and they loved Santa Anita, and that was my favorite track, obviously.
Smart guys.
Yeah, exactly. And they helped me get here, and I appreciate that, and I never will forget. I had no experience. People were laughing when I was calling at the beginning at Hialeah. Believe that, and they should have been. I would have really been unleashing.
Some are still laughing today, but we don't want to go down that path.
Exactly, right? But anyway, I remember him asking me about, he was asking me about California racing and this, and he said, you ever heard of Trick Me? Thank goodness I had. Can you imagine if I didn't? That was their horse. It was a very fast horse. He had broken his maiden.
Red Oak Farms, Red Oak Stable.
Yeah, and thank goodness I knew that. And so we talked about that and this and that, and then boom. I think I really bonded with Rick's grandfather that day. I knew I would get the fill-in gig, which I did. And then the next year, Vic Stauffer, who called at Hialeah for a long time, quit that job to go to Golden Gate. And they actually called me. I didn't have to call them. So it was a pretty cool thing. I've learned in my career, generally you can send faxes, letters, have people recommend you. In the end, they're going to call who they want. And they called me for that. And Steve was very good to me. And, he was tough on me too. I got to tell one quick story, then we'll do our seminar.
Got 29 minutes.
Opening day at Hialeah.
Okay. What year roughly?
Roughly 1996
okay.
for that matter. So I filled in 95 for 4 days. Opening day, Hialeah. They won the first race. The horse named Never Nice. It was a maiden, and my binoculars were shaking. It was the 12th horse on the rail. I don't even know what was going on. But it comes to like the third or fourth race that day. I'm calling my race, and they're coming down the stretch, and there's a horse named Muggs, and I'm screaming, and here comes Muggs, and he's a 50-1 shot. I didn't know at the time, but I'm like, and it's Muggs by 3. As they get to the 16th pole, I realize this is not Muggs. So I go, oh my God. Like I was about to say, oh my God, but I stopped, but oh my God. And I clean it up, and it was a horse named Prize of Gold in familiar silks. Very popular silks over there. I think it was the Monarch Stables, which, like, there's no scenario that I should have been calling one the other, but rookie mistake, opening day. Like, can you imagine this? So the lady.
And they still stuck by you.
There was a window out there that was open, and next to me was the Equibase lady, Leslie Marin Sage. And she looked at me and she goes, don't beat yourself up. I go, beat myself up. I'm finished. This is opening day. What are you talking about? So the phone rings a couple minutes later. It's Stephen Brunetti.
Got bad news for you.
Exactly. Bullpen. It's like it's perfect. It's like the bullpen phone is ringing. The phone rings. They were running a horse in the next race.
No, Red Stable for the relief.
Exactly. Oh, I know that. No, I know that. Believe me. That's what I was thinking about, the phone for the bullpen. So the manager's disgusted. He's upstairs. Right? He's up on the stairs, just like, who is this guy? Who hired him? So at that point, it was Rick's fault, I'm sure. So anyway, the phone rings. And it's Steve. I said, I'm so sorry, sir. He goes, no, don't worry about it. When it was him, I was I'm really I'm sweating now thinking about it. My shirt was stuck to my back. I'm drenched. And I weighed about 90 pounds less than I did now. And I thought I was overweight then. So that's not a good
There's
sign.
pictures to prove that.
Exactly. So I pick up the phone and I said, I'm so sorry, sir. He goes, no, don't worry about it. You're learning. But do me a favor. Call the next race. And they had a horse in there. Call the next race as Trevor Denman, because he liked the impressions. I go, now I know I'm done. So can you imagine this? Like, just picture the regular audience listening to this. They hear a race.
Trevor.
No, they hear a race.
Right.
That's just as bad as it gets. And now the next thing, they think I'm trying to be cute doing impersonations. I can only imagine the boos that were going on. Like, who is this guy? Hialeah this? Because, Hialeah was at that point not the most popular place in North America. But no. I'm just saying among the fans, they would always say, I'm going from Gulfstream to Hialeah. There's a battle between the tracks.
Yeah.
So it's the chance, at the track, you want to blame everything. They're thinking, like, who is this guy up there?
And he's still stuck with
And I called the race as Trevor the next race with their horse.
That's awesome.
But Steve was great to me, and he stuck through me through some rough moments, and his family came through for me on some unbelievable things outside of just race calling. And so I wanted to, like, on this day, this is a way to honor him and the family and to just say, believe me, I'm devastated. Look, I'm a colon cancer survivor, stage 3. He had the same thing. We were born 1 month apart. So believe me, this is a very bad. It's not fun to be dealing with colon cancer, I can promise you. And I know that personally. And so just the courageous fight that he went through, because he had it really bad. I mean, it was like unbelievable. So anyway, sorry to take all your time on this, but thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to that. And may God rest the soul of Stephen Burnett.
Every day is a celebration of life. You and
Amen.
I both know that. Tomorrow's guaranteed to nobody, so you have to live life to the fullest.
There's a lot worse things that can happen than tearing up a few tickets.
Well, we're not going to tear up any tickets with your expertise, so let's rattle through these 11 races, Frank. Kicking things off in race number 1, which begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. We're sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course. The rails stood air at 0 feet. It's an allowance optional claiming race for 3-year-olds, non-winners of 1 other than. Field of 6 after the scratch of the 7. Morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 2-1 on the tote board is number 1, Scatify from the John Sadler barn. Who do you like in race 1 and why?
I actually picked Scatify, and it was a long debate. I even circled the 5 Miracle Mark because I think this distance of 6 furlongs might be exactly what Miracle Mark needs. He's made some moves that has kind of lacked the knockout punch going a mile. He turns back. I think he's very dangerous here, getting Lasix for the second time. But Scatify, I just think he might outclass this field. The only thing that I would ever worry about is they only spent $120,000 for him, but who cares? Because since then he's won a race, and he was 3-1 in this Grade 2 San Felipe. Last time he ran a good second at Keeneland. His dam broke her maiden in her debut, sprinting 6 furlongs on the turf at Belmont. 11 of her 12 starts were on the grass. This is her first full. This horse just might have too much class for the field. I went 1-5 in that order.
Let's turn the page, take a look at race number 2, which begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're on the main track. 1 mile is the distance. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 2 other than. A field of 5. Bob Baffert trains the morning line favorite. Number 3, Cowboy Mike, 6-5 on the morning line. What say you about race 2?
I've been a Paroli man for a long time, and I'm just going to have to stick with him here. Number 1, Paroli. His last race was obviously dreadful in September. Hopefully whatever was taking place there is behind him.
Might have been the wet fast track.
He gave a big scare to Defunded that day in the Gold Cup. When was that? May of 2023. It seems like 5 years ago, but that was actually last year. But before that, he had rattled off 3 wins in a row. I've always liked Paroli. There's no reason not to like him today. And then for second, I went to the 4 Hero Status. Mike Smith has done very well with him, and they get back together. It's not like I don't like Cowboy Mike, but to me, visually, 96 buyer last time out. I mean,
you're not buying it.
I would take the under on that, man. That's, I just don't know that Cowboy. And look, Bob Bedecker, who is the manager
Mr.
for this horse, was the best. I mean, if you ask me, name your top people in racing that you like, Bob Bedecker.
He's part of the trifecta.
There's no question. Well, he's in the top 10 for sure. 100%. I love him. I've worked with him for years on TVG. He's old school. My dad used to read and buy the Bedecker tip sheet, which was $2. The rest of them were $1. My dad hit a pick 6 once on a $32 Bedecker tip sheet. And Mr. B has carried on the tradition of greatness that his dad set up. He's just an old school, true race tracker. Good guy, lucky guy. He'll probably gallop in that race. And believe me, when he does, I'll be happy for him. But he would want me to pick what I want, not try to be a yes man. So I'm tossing out Cowboy Mike in race 2. I'm sure Mr. B, actually knowing my checkmark selections over the years, is happy to hear that news. So
he's throwing a brick at the TV right now. Race number 3, we're back sprinting down the turf course, 6 furlongs in the distance. It's a starter optional claiming race. We've got a field of 6. Take note, number 3, Rexford is a first-time gelding, but the morning line favorite down on the rail, who's adding blinkers, who had trouble last time out from the Richard Mandela barn, is Pioneer Princess, 8-5 according to John White. What's race 3 according to Frank Mirahmadi?
This was a long debate as well. I eventually landed on Pioneer Prince, but my concern about picking him is he did have trouble, but it was not like horrible trouble. There was a little moment when he had a little bit of traffic and the other horse bothered him. I never saw the head on, but it wasn't like one of those things where everyone has this horse on their list. Only the keen eyes of our Equibase chart callers upstairs would be able to figure that out. So it wasn't like terrible. The thing about it was his maiden win was so strong.
Two back.
I think maybe he just bounced last time because that really was not a tremendous effort. He did finish with decent enough energy. Hall of Famer Richard Mandela puts on the blinkers. The problem with this horse is the price is not going to be fair. The 5, on the other hand, Queen's Code, is going to be very fast. I think the way I picture this race is Queen's Code will fly out of the gate. And let's give a little shout out to Giovanni Franco, who's riding very well these days.
Yes, he is.
This horse was on his wrong lead late, but he was coming off a long layoff. He's had plenty of time to recover from that. And Rhythm on Stage was closing pretty well in that race, too. I think those are the 3 right horses. I do believe, though, in the end, if I want to pick a winner, I need to pick the 1, Pioneer Prince, because I think his maiden win was much more impressive than this quote-unquote troubled loss last time out. if he repeats the maiden win, I think he's better than these.
Race number 4 is a split of race number 8. Same conditions, and those conditions are maiden claiming caliber. It's in for a $50,000 claiming tag, sprinting 5.5 furlongs in the main track. We've got a field of 7. Number 1, Antonsen from the Carla Gaines barn, 8-5 on the morning line. Lost to the big Chizola or something like that last time out. What say you about race 4?
I can't pick Antonsen just based on that performance. Here's the thing. If this firster or one of these second-time starters doesn't improve, Antonsen might blow this field away, but I can tell you this.
Beaten favorite last 2 times out. That's
he was very weary, and I actually mentioned it at the 8th pole in that call that Antonsen was, seeing stars at that point. He was like a boxer getting annihilated in the corner. So do I want to take like what might be 4 to 5? What I'm going to do is I'm going to trust our odds maker, John White. There's no one better than him and no one who does more research. He's out there doing your work for you. I'm very concerned with the $5,000 purchase price for number 5. Come fly away. That's certainly not my type of thing. But these owners and Cliff Seiss coming out with a firster, I have to do it. How about this? Tyler Bays rode the dam. Come along with me to a maiden victory. But that's the good news. The bad news is it was a maiden 20, and it was in her 16th lifetime start. But you got to love that Tyler Bays gets to be aboard the son of somebody who he won with. So I'm just trusting that John White, who does the best research ever, knows that this horse is working okay, because I don't subscribe to the workout reports that I definitely respect, but I just don't do it. And then the 3 Sunday Sun might be an interesting long shot. But look, if Antonsen wins, would I be surprised? Of course not. It's just I'm taking a shot with a first-time starter that John's laying at 3-1 on the morning line.
Race number 5, we offer a 50-cent middle pick 4 on race cards 10 races or in excess of that. And race number 5 is for maiden claiming fillies and mares. $50,000 of the claiming tag. We're traveling 1 mile on the turf course. If you got a program handy here at Santa Anita, you'll see this race is named in honor of Santa Anita Park. Welcomes Rick and Linda Friend, who are visiting us from Sin City. Congratulations to them celebrating an important day today, and hope they have a lot of success at the betting windows. Field of 10, morning line favorite number 6, OK Rose from the Peter Urton barn, 3-1 on the morning line. Give Rick and Linda a winner.
Happy birthday, Rick. Let's say that too. This is a tough race. If there could be a race that you're gonna get a huge long shot in, this might be it. And then after all that, I'm going to give you a 3-1 tepid morning line favorite, because I think in the end, the fact she was beaten 3 lengths by Asada Fries, who would demolish this field by double digits, and she gets Lasix for the first time, and she's trained by Peter Urton, whose horses continue to fire over the last couple of years no matter what. I think that she is the right horse to pick on top. But there are some long shots in this race that could easily come through. This is a race you want to spread, and you might get some value in. I went for the number 3 Pace Lane. I've been telling you for many years, the Factor on turf is something you must pay attention to. This is a daughter of the Factor who has taken good money in both of her starts and now gets the grass 12-1 for Peter Miller. This one could be very interesting at a price. And the number 2, how about Miss Will? Mark Glatt, 100% in my mind, picked this horse out because of her brother, Old Pal, who's a very nice California bred. And so Mark Glatt just taking a shot here, knowing firsthand how well Old Pal has done on the grass. There are some others in here that could be dangerous. I mean, even the 9 Ellie Moore, the 8, the 10. There's a lot of ways you could go in this race, but I went 6-3. I think this is Spread City USA.
Race number 6 is the last race here at Santa Anita before the running of the Kentucky Derby. Post time for race 6 here is 3:25 p.m. Pacific time. It also begins the $1 pick 6. We're spreading 5.5 furlongs on the main track for fillies and mares, in for a $10,000 claiming tag. Number 7, Dancing Dana, who likes to finish 3rd but not win very often, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite here in race 6, Frank?
I mean, I put her second, but she's hard to endorse. But Craig Lewis, the sharp horseman, and this horse is very well spotted. I think the 6 is very fast. Wrong Turn Cupid will be sizzling on the front end. Has done well here at Santa Anita, has done very well, very fast. This horse is going to be sizzling early, but so is the 7 going to be right on her. And I'm going to go to the 2 Woodbine Way, who's taking a dramatic drop in class here for Steve Miotti. This horse is a well-bred individual. Obviously, it hasn't worked out too well, but this is her chance to maybe pull off a mild upset. The dam of this horse, Lookout Sister, did have a couple of wins on the dirt. So if you're worried that this horse was, the dam was earning the money elsewhere, I think that the debut win at Delaware indicates that there's dirt, thumbs up on a horse that's been running only on the turf. and maybe from a class standpoint, you get a mild upset. I went 2-7 in that order.
Speaking of thumbs up, you're a longtime friend with Mr. Mirahmadi from your Northern California days. Did he give you a nudge or any sort of indication? This is all just pure handicapping.
I have not asked Mr. Mirahmadi. And
you don't ask anybody, let's face it.
You don't want to
Derby day. No.
The best thing you want them to tell you.
Correct.
And the best steam of all is when they say no good. That's the best steam you could ever get. Who doesn't like their horse?
Of course,
not many people.
You should.
But Steve's as sharp as they come.
He is.
And the truth of the matter is, I think if Steve wanted it, he would have 100 horses. But he's just a guy that wants to do it.
He's at the stage in his career. He also enjoys life, loves life. He's a hard worker. He's here every single day, early in the morning till late at night. He puts the work in. He loves the game, but he needs balance, right? You need balance in life.
And he worked for one of the greatest ever, Mike Mitchell, and so he learned a lot. And he acknowledges that. I like people who don't forget where they came from. And Steve knows that Mike taught him a lot. Peter Miller actually was, I found some pictures. We become close friends with Denise Mitchell and Tony Velazza, Denise Velazza now. And I've gotten to go through a treasure trove of old pictures of those guys as youngsters.
That's like a gold mine for a guy like you. You've got old programs.
You guys say what you want to say. Bring me that little thing of pictures.
You sit in a corner room while they socialize.
It's the truth. And I take pictures of them, and it's great. I share it with these guys.
Race number 7 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. It also begins the $3 all turf pick 3. And it's our feature race on today's card. It's the Grade 2 Charles Whittingham Stakes presented by FanDuel TV. $200,000 guaranteed is the purse. 1 1/8 on the turf course is the distance. Also interesting, First Racing is giving the winner of this race an automatic entry plus travel incentive to the Coral Eclipse Stakes in England. Something very cool that First Racing does both here at St. Anita and also at our sister track, Gulfstream Park. We've got a field of 8 in race 7, Frank 3, trained by Phil D'Amato, but the morning line favorite is Planetario from the Richard Mandela barn. 5-2 on the morning line. He's going to be happy that Missed the Cut isn't in this race because he's lost to him the last 2 times. Is he the winner? Or are you looking elsewhere?
I think he's the winner, and he tried everything he could. I got to give Hector Berrios and Richard Mandela a lot of credit. They tried everything they could. Last time they made the early move. The other time they tried the sudden move. Missed the Cut is just too good. He came back to run very well at Keeneland and at today's mile and a quarter distance. I think that this horse, Planetario, has had a very good record. It hits him right between the eyes. For second, I went to number 6, A War at Sea. Mike Smith took over on this horse in the last race you'll see in the past performance lines, and he and this horse get along very well. The distance is a question mark, but he's honest, and he ran second to the mighty Johannes last time out, and Johannes was not going to let anybody beat him. He could be a Breeders' Cup turf mile kind of horse. That's how solid he is. So War at Sea is an honest individual, and I will say this. In that race that War at Sea finished second, in the post parade, Gold Phoenix looked like King Kong out there. I don't know what happened because he didn't run a jump, but man, his look, I mean, he's a good-looking horse, but he really looked good that day, and he was on his toes and just laid an absolute egg. I would expect more from him, and Kyle Frey jumps aboard today with a great opportunity, and Kyle has been doing extremely well. I'm very happy for him. He's a fine young man, and Gold Phoenix could be the dark horse here because his last race was too bad to be believed, and that's when you can get a good price in the future because on looks, he really looked like he might give Johannes something to think about, and it just wasn't his day. And as Trevor Deming used to always say, horses aren't machines. It's just a bad afternoon. You could draw a line through it.
If you have your past performances in front of you, you can see both War at Sea and Gold Phoenix, who Frank has been talking about, exit the same race, the American Stakes, which was a Grade 3 event, but it was actually way better than a Grade 3 event. 8 of the 10 runners in that field were stakes winners, previous stakes winners, and the winner, who Frank mentioned, missed the track record for a mile on the turf course here at St. Anita by 0.39 seconds. So it was a very, very solid race. Do not downgrade any of the runners exiting the American Stakes, and Frank certainly didn't by mentioning War at Sea and Gold Phoenix. Race number 8 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. It's also a split of race number 4 that we discussed earlier. That means it's 5.5 furlongs on the main track. For maiden claiming caliber, it's $50,000 is the claiming tag. Field of 8, morning line favorite number 3, Dance Man from the Leonard Powell barn, 5-2 on the morning line. Jeremy Laprida in the saddle. Yesterday's third race, you will recall Edwin Maldonado and Jeremy Laprida, the length of the stretch, really put on quite a show. Jeremy, in a short amount of time, has made a very positive impression. He's transitioning back and forth almost on a weekly basis between here and Parks. Good for the young man to basically accumulate those frequent flyer miles and still be competitive in Southern California.
I agree, and he put on that great ride on Irideo down the hill, and that horse had no chance.
Price.
Came through Irideo from Marcelo Polanco and Poza de Luna. That's a horse I've always liked, and he's kept good company. He's been in the company of horses such as Hong Kong Harry, and so he's a nice animal, and he won that. And you're right, Jeremy does ride very well, and he's under the radar, but he's starting to get more opportunity. I don't know who his agent is right now, but
Patty Sterling.
All right, there you go, Patty Sterling.
She knows her way around the racetrack.
I believe she does. She used to train horses, worked with Ron Ellis way back when. Yeah, she's good.
Trained Vigers.
Oh, wow. That's right. I didn't even realize, to this day, you learn something new every day. I had no idea that was her dad.
I'm here to help.
She's bred them. I watched Vigors. I was here when Vigors won the big cap. Okay. I was a little kid, but I watched that. All that said, I'm not on Dance Man in this race. I'm not on Last Call Paul, but either one of those two could win. I'm going to take a shot with these two first-time starters, sons of dad's caps. I went to number 7 in the end in a tough call between the 7 and the 6. And here's why I went to the 7. The 7 Where's the Loot is out of a mare that ran 16 times, earned $290,000. She was 3rd in her debut at Woodbine and won her second start at Maiden Special Weight. The Grandam, which means her mommy's mommy, this thing's grandmother, was 2nd in a debut, going 6 furlongs at Churchill Downs, and then in the second career start, missed by a nose at Churchill Downs. So there was actually some talent in this family on the bottom side. We saw a Dad's Caps winner yesterday for Ryan Hansen,
yes, sir,
on Michelle Yu's birthday. Michelle Hansen, I should say, Michelle Hansen's birthday. So Dad's Caps is popping up. And then the 6 War on the West, who has a lower morning line despite less on the dam side. So that's, again, where you got to trust your man, John White, because he knows that this horse is probably working well. So I went 7-6 with the full understanding that if neither of them can run, the 3 or the 4, Last Call Paul. Last Call Paul keeps teasing people. One day he's going to blow a field right out. He's reunited with Tiago Pereira. And I was tempted to even give him a shot in here too, but I'm just going to take a shot with the 2 firsters. But the 3 and the 4, Dance Man and Last Call Paul, I don't blame you if you like them.
Race number 9, we're going to mile and an eighth on the turf course for maiden special weights. We've got a field of 11 after the scratch of number 5, Mysterious Husband. Also take note, Wins It Well, number 3 is a first-time gelding. The morning line favorite, 5-year-old, number 11, one-time mark from the Mark Glatt barn, is the lukewarm 7-2 morning line favorite. Good race here, Frank. Who do you like and why?
There are 3 horses that I think are strong, and there are others that could also win too. But in the end, I'm going to number 12, Indispensable. This horse stumbled horribly last time. I commented in the race, Joel Rosario was lucky to stay aboard. And yet at the end, he still came flying late, and he ended up finishing 3rd, gets the blinkers on today. And so Indispensable, I think, it could be really tough. And he found the turf finally, and both siblings to try the turf did win. So I think he offers an opportunity at a decent price. And then the 10 British Isles, another slam dunk. There are 2 slam dunk horses. The first race and this one that I thought were extremely, like this horse really was ready to rock and roll for Richard Baltas last time out. I have a feeling Team Casado might have been ready to blast off at the windows when this thing came second at 21-1, because this horse ran too well for them not to know it was training well.
With blinkers on or the return of blinkers, I should say.
Yes, and this horse fired hard. Nagano beat him, but believe me, this horse was rolling, and Drayden Van Dyke fit him beautifully, has ridden him 3 times now. So the 10 British Isles, I think, looms large in here. And a horse that was extremely unlucky to lose his debut is the 4 Hurricane Way. If you don't recognize the trainer, Juan Landeros, he's the assistant to Dan Blacker. So this is a Dan Blacker project. And Hurricane Way came explosively through the stretch to just miss and had some trouble too. That was a bad beat at odds of 37-1. Comes right back with Armando Ayuso, whose agent Renee Amesqua is a super cool racetracker, good guy, and I've known him for a long time since working on the fairs. Another man who did some work for Ron Ellis, and so that was a horrible beat for them. But Armando Ayuso has made a name for himself down here quickly in Southern California. This is under Twirling Candy. The question, can he go a mile and an eighth? This is a horse that goes deep into the Wygod family of runners, and we'll see what happens. But those 3, I think, are worth considering.
Race number 10 begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4, linking our last 2 races here with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. And we kick things off in race number 10, spreading 6 furlongs in the main track for $16,000 claimers. Non-winners of 2 races lifetime, a good field of 9. Number 6, the aforementioned the Big Chizola from the Tim Yak Teen Barn, is 3-1. 1 for maiden 50, now in for 16. Realistic placement. You like him or you're looking elsewhere?
I'm looking elsewhere. I'm going to the 4 Moby Town for Lorenzo Campuzano. I've never met. I don't know what Lorenzo Campuzano looks like.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
Yes,
and his
sir.
horses, I'll say this. His horses look great on the racetrack. I like horses that come out fresh and looking good, shiny. Lorenzo Campuzano, when I meet him one day when he says, I'm Lorenzo, I'm saying, hey, man, your horses look good. And he won with that horse named something Lorenzo one day, a maiden with Giovanni Franco. They team up here. I think this horse might just outclass the competition. The 7 Damasio for my good friend George Yeager of BG Stables, Big George. Great guy, and I'm a big fan of his. And Damasio comes back and takes the plunge in class, just trying to get a win. And hopefully, I'm sure Big George is hoping Source gets claimed right after this too. See you later, alligator. But Damasio fits well in this spot.
1 minute to go with one race left, and that's race number 11, which offers $5 golden hour daily double wagering. Again, we're going a mile and an eighth on the turf course for fillies and mares, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of one other than. A good field of 12. Number 9, Thrunk Dream from the Steve Knapp barn is a 3-1 morning line favorite. Give us a winner to close out the extravaganza of racing action today, Frank.
What's crazy is there are 2 races today that I picked 12-10, so it's not a typo up there. It's not a mistake. I picked the 12 Mahina, Patty Gallagher. This horse is on a roll. The big and important question mark is a horse who's so consistent and keeps closing and winning at a mile. Are they going to be as effective at a mile and an eighth? That's a very big question. It's not as easy as it looks to do that. If she maintains this top form, she can do it here. The 10 Bel Sharif for Simon Callahan. This horse is a sneaky horse. Look at this horse's past performance lines, and you'll see that this horse might be a live long shot in here. Don't let the 10 knock you out of anything for Kaleem Shaw and Simon Callahan. Simon won a race yesterday. And Sunshine Babe at 15-1 right next to her is an honest horse. She won an incredibly close photo here way back when, and she has the knack to get up in the shadow of the wire. Hall of Famer Kent DeSormo for the aforementioned Marcelo Polanco at 15-1. There are others in here with a chance. I think the last is another big spread race and a potential for a nice price.
A lot of wagering action to choose from. One more wager to consider as well. I know Frank pays attention to the payouts on this wager. The Coast to Coast Pick 5. It's $1 minimum, linking races from our track here at Santa Anita with races at our sister track, Gulfstream Park. Low 15% takeout. You can see today's sequence starts with Gulfstream Park, race number 9, 2:05 p.m. Pacific time, which is before the first post before post time for the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs. Want to thank all of you for watching. Want to wish you nothing but the best of luck. Frank, want to thank you for your time and insight today. Always a pleasure having you on the seminar. Get them around safely for all 11 races here and keep up the great work.
Thank you, my friend. Honored to be on the seminar. Thank you to all the fans out there. I'm only worried about one thing right now. We have 30 minutes to post. I'm about to introduce the national anthem, but I haven't been upstairs to see if we have a singer.
We'll find out.
I'm just going to say, I hope there's not a national anthem singer that I'm ignoring here, so I'm just going to hope for the best, and if not, I will give the love later.
True professional, always worried about his craft. That's the sign of certainly somebody we respect, and we all respect Frank Mirahmadi. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great afternoon, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we direct your attention to the flagpole in the infield, as well as the winner's circle, as we welcome Chechi Sarai, who will perform the Star Spangled Banner. Chechi Sarai is a singer, songwriter, and producer, wowing the judges during her appearance on The Voice last season. Wowing the judges during her performance on The Voice last season. She has sang live backgrounds for Lizzo, Kanye West, Lucky Day, Deborah Cox, and more. A rising artist with many accomplishments in her career thus far. Be on the lookout for great things to come from Chechi Sarai.
Oh, say, can you see what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Chichi Sarai, for that tremendous performance. You can Google her and watch her performances on The Voice. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon now, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf is at 0 feet. Here is a reprise of the scratches and changes on today's card. In the first race, start of the 50-cent early pick 5, scratch number 7, Rostam and Vibe. Race 1, take out the 7. Race 2, start of the early pick 4, there are no changes. No super high 5 in the opener. Race 3, we have a blinker note. In the fourth, number 4, Square Doro will carry 2 pounds over. We offer a middle pick 4, starting with the 5th, number 2, Miss Will, 2 pounds over. 3, Pace Lane, 1 pound over. Middle pick 4 starts with race 5. The 6th begins the $1 pick 6. Blinkers off, number 2, Woodbine Way. The 7th is the Charles Whittingham, presented by FanDuel TV, grade 2 event. Late pick 5 starts here, no changes. In the 8th, number 4, Last Call Paul, 2 over. 6, War on the West, 1 pound over. In race 9, number 1, Tour Player, 2 pounds over. Number 4, Hurricane Way, 1 pound over. Scratch number 5, Mysterious Husband. Race 9, take out the 5. The 10th starts the Golden Hour, late pick 4, combining the last 2 from Santa Anita with the last 2 from Golden Gate, no changes. And in the 11th, the beginning of the Golden Hour double, there are no changes. Enjoy Kentucky Derby Day. Of course, you can watch and wager on all the events from Churchill Downs. That started early this morning. Quick reminder that the all-turf pick 3 starts with the 7th. The sequence for the all-turf pick 3, 7th, 9th, and 11th. And every Saturday and Sunday, we offer the coast-to-coast pick 5. Low 15% takeout, $1 minimum. And today it starts with Gulfstream's 9th at 2:05. So we're about 2 hours away from a great wager. Don't ignore the coast-to-coast pick 5 on Kentucky Derby Day. Enjoy your afternoon and all the family fun activities at the Great Race Place. They'll be at the gate for the opener in 22 minutes at 12:30.
Prime plays for Saturday at Santa Anita. We have two beginning in the fifth race. This race, a mile maiden claiming event for older fillies and mares on grass. Look at number 1, No Time for Squall. Several good angles in her chart, which leads me to believe she's going to step forward big time. Now, she's got that 2 sprints and a stretch out angle that I like. First time for a tag. Gets the good rail. Should be forwardly placed for top trainer Mark Glatt. And she continues to train well. Take a look at this training track breeze on April 27th. She's on the outside going easily. Nice 5/8 and 102. I think she's fit. I think she will stretch out nicely, and I think she will really appreciate the class drop. Number 1, No Time for Squalls, our first prime play in the fifth race at Santa Anita. Jump ahead to the ninth race now. This is a mile and 1/8 grass event for maidens. These are older horses, and we're looking at number 4, Hurricane Way as our top selection. A twirling candy 3-year-old who flew home in his debut, just missed out with sprinting. Take a look at this close here. He's the colt with the shadow roll. He is flying late, just going to run out of room, though, finishing a nose behind at 36-1. He looks like a horse will run long. He's bred to run long, and he looks like he's got a lot of really nice ability here. One that could win this race if he can get the 9 furlongs. Let's go with number 4, Hurricane Way, to win the 9th race at Santa Anita on Saturday.
And they're off.
Good afternoon, everybody. 15 minutes to post to race number 1. On behalf of everyone here at First Racing, we'd like to welcome you to the biggest party west of Kentucky, right here at Santa Anita Park. Dressed to impress, Miss Michelle Yu. Happy Derby
I don't
Day.
want to be left out. Everyone got to wear hats today, so
I like it.
I wanted to include myself
It's a
too.
good look.
Thanks.
It's a good look. We got some good stuff going on. We got 11 race card. We got plenty of opportunities for wagering right here. Obviously, if you're just joining us here around the sets, you have an opportunity to play over in Churchill Downs with the big Kentucky Derby coming up on the horizon. But we've got plenty of action here and a lot of food and a lot of drink.
Yeah, we've got food trucks here. We've got the Michelada Rumble. There's a ton of stuff going on in the infield. Obviously, we're going to have 11 races on tap, a couple of graded stakes as well. So a really exciting day.
Millie Ball be handling the paddock, and of course Zoe Cadman out at the gate. Courtesy of our partners over at XPTV, we've got a couple of works actually we'd like to pass on. The first one here is the one, and that's Scatify. Juan Hernandez aboard for John Sadler.
Going to be 2 works back there on the synthetic, and I just thought it was a nice, solid move for this horse who is going to be trying turf for the very first time. So I like the fact that John Sadler was able to take him over to the synthetic and give him a whirl there, because we say the synthetic kind of goes hand in hand with the turf. Got around the turn just fine, and overall, I thought he looked very interested in his work. Going to get a little bit of a reminder just coming down the lane to stay up in the bridle, but never decreases his stride. So overall, I thought very good, and you can see he's taking all the attention right now as well. He's 6-5.
Phil D'Amato trainee is the 4 Sorrento Sky, was a winner in the debut from Ireland.
And going to be working in company here along the outside of Almendares. And you could see this little colt, not very big at all. And I thought that the time was just okay, 101, but I really liked the gumption that he just continued to show. So here he is kind of content to sit behind, and then his rider is not so content. And he's like, come on, pick the pace back up and go catch him. So he comes back and, goes along with his stakesy type workmate here. When they come down the lane, the workmate kind of outclasses, and this horse kind of ends up behind, and then he digs back in, and he's like, okay, hold on, I can still be up here. So he still gets bested by his older, more experienced stablemate. But overall, to me, he showed a couple of different turns of foot and some gumption.
What's your vibe so far on the synthetic training track? Obviously, Hanson Stables, I'm sure you've been over it a couple times.
Yeah, I haven't personally, because I don't have my pony anymore. But we utilize it for several of our horses, and it's good. Some horses, it's typical synthetic in that some horses love it, and some horses have a hard time even standing up on it, right? But that's what we've seen throughout the whole time that we've seen synthetic. And it's like that a lot of times with dirt. If you have a horse that we see all the time, a turf horse working on dirt. Mm-hmm. They can't handle it very well, but they're fine when you get them on their preferred surface.
3 horse in front of me here. I kind of like this horse on top. This is Island Cruiser. The horse has got some speed. I know packed in last time out going a mile, but I think the 6 furlongs might be better.
I agree. I think the turn back in distance is going to be good, because I had that good race going 6 furlongs, and I feel like he's a little on the one-paced side. The day that he won, he did it in gate to wire fashion.
True.
Prior to that, when he ran 30, he was kind of about 2.5 lengths, 3 lengths beaten the entire time. So the first race he did show a turn of foot, but other than that, I just haven't seen it there. I love a horse on a turn back though, so I think that he's playable.
78,000 already in the pool. You can see in that pick 5, we've got plenty of wagering. Got a mid pick 4. We got obviously a pick 5. We got that all turf pick 3. So much wagering. And without further ado, it is riders up. 78,303 in the pick 5 pool. Again, we'll be joined by Millie Ball down the paddock and Zoe Cadman out at the gate. On behalf of everyone here at First Racing, we'd like to welcome you to once again the biggest party west of Kentucky. And this is Santa Anita. Good luck.
Oh, he's over there because he's got many notes. They've set arms up. Call the post. 1, 2, 1.
Jay Cohen, Rick Tyree, and Bill Frazier with a beautiful rendition of My Old Kentucky Home. Welcome to Kentucky Derby Day at Santa Anita Park, where the track is fast, the turf is firm, and the horses are on the track for the opener, named for 7-Up Social Club, LLC, scratch number 7, Rastaman Vibe. No super high 5 in the opener, but we do offer early pick 5 wagering. Post time on the board in 9 minutes.
Race number 1 is coming up shortly, and I have owner and breeder with me here, and this is Nick Casada. Nick, you're the breeder. You run and manage Slam Dunk Racing. What can you tell me about Miracle Mark for this spot?
Well, we cut him, we gelded him. This would be his second race after being gelded, and he showed marked improvement in his training and in his attitude. He ran a good race off the gelding. I think he'll improve today.
There's a lot going on being Derby Day today. Do you have a Derby selection?
Fierceness looks tough, but I'm a little concerned about the good race, bad race form that he's shown. I took a shot on a few horses, but I would say Fierceness is the horse to beat.
Okay, and later on today here at Santa Anita, you have an interesting horse in race 9, British Isles, who I'm rather partial to. A private purchase, a private purchase on a strong work coming into the race. What can you tell me about British Isles?
Well, we bought him thinking that we were going to geld him as well. And when Richie took over training for him, he said, Nick, this horse is doing so good. I say we don't geld him. Obviously, being by Justify, and Justify's about as hot as any sire out there, I said, okay, let's not. We ran him. He ran great. The extra distance in today's race, I think, is only going to help him. I think he's got a big chance, Millie.
All right. Very best of luck to you with 2 horses that look like they're in the right spot today for Nick Casada and Slam Dunk.
Thank you.
Happy Derby Day to one and all. We're back here for race number 1, 6 furlong sheet. You can see we got Starter Jay over here getting all these guys riled up and prepared for our 11 race card. We'll see if Jay can. Jay's look at Jay. Give us a wave. Give us a wave, Jay. There you go. He's a bit camera shy, but these guys are all ready to rock and roll. Some of the best in the business here at Santa Anita. Okay, let's talk about these horses. Most of them, bar 2 of them, came onto the turf course to practice going over the crossing. The one who's really caught my eye, not only on paper, but out here as well, is Scatify. Now, he's had a lot of travel in the last month. He left and went to Keeneland and ran a very good second place finish, but that's all within a month and has since come back to California. But I have to say, he looks very well. He's light on his toes. He's not an overly big son of Justify. And I've always thought, judging by his action